But yeah, so this might be a pretty quick last segment of the Forgotten City, but I just wanted to see the canon ending at the very least. And yeah, we'll talk about our impressions of the game after we get through this, and then maybe we'll play something else today too. I haven't quite decided what. Maybe we'll take a little break. Who knows? We'll see. See how long this takes. And yeah, obviously we're in super spoiler territory now. So if you're watching this, obviously you've seen this already. But I would not. If you have friends that you're gonna recommend this game to, obviously I would not tell them anything about what happens after the White Hallway. And honestly, there's a lot of stuff that you would have to spoil before this to even talk about the White Hallway. But definitely, I would not mention this and all the space stuff and the ancient aliens and whatnot. Yeah, so hopefully we won't have to shoot Persephone again. But we will see. We'll do a quick save here and see how this goes.
And here you are. Allow me to introduce myself. As you have already gathered, I've been known by many names. Nergal to the Sumerians, Osiris to the Egyptians, Hades, but the one constant, and I've been watching, and what is more, that there will be first. My story is... It is a matter your answer, but despite my kin and I all adopt in time. No. This, like me, she has been known by
Stage
many
right.
names. Eresh Kigal to the Sumerians, Isis, or perhaps you. Your gaze lingers too long. That is my servant. You would
That's
Kumutabar
Charon,
to the her role
or
for
Karen.
that, you will talk more as you. It has come to be known simply as the Underworld. That is a long story, one that began over 3,000 years ago and continues. You see, you all yet Persephone.
Sorry,
So
I know we
re-
saw all this
for it,
already,
it's
so
my kin. But my
I'm just gonna click through it.
Horrid, and then but he human. But see, if he then
It has been a week since I played this
so
game last.
and here
Even though I know we were pretty close
they
last
were
week.
also got our and of course
Or on Monday,
it is
rather.
a regret to be, but he's late.
Epic
there,
of Gilgamesh.
there, a war, and so as the first I watched, of course, after it to ensure the wager was fair to the web as the later some in your. Of course, that is merely the name your. That is the story date now. Oh, there, Drake. See, what she, but
Turns people into gold
and I, but that,
to teach them the
so
golden rule,
to
quote unquote.
I give your and so you.
We're gonna try not to make him angry.
When my kin did the go as my entire.
We just have to get him into like a logical fallacy, pretty much. Just like, I guess it's kind of like when you're talking to the guy in the cave. That's kind of like your warm up to this. It's, I guess, the game is kind of teaching you because you have to go down there to get the last 2 plaques, right? So you would definitely talk to him, and the game is kind of teaching you how to navigate this kind of conversation. Same thing with the one with Kabosh, even though that's a harder conversation. And then you get here, and it's like then you really have to be on your A game diplomatically, which I really like about this game. There's not too many in recent memory that I can think of that require you to perform so well in dialogue. Besides like Disco Elysium that I've played, and I'm sure there's a lot of visual novels that kind of get close, but nothing that I know of with like stakes like this outside of Disco Elysium. So I don't know. I really like this game for making you actually have to think and not just pick dialogue options willy-nilly, and to really consider like the personality and the motivations of the person that you're talking to. So that's pretty cool.
I've always considered that the cornerstone of no attempt to lay out rules like your Code of Hammurabi or your. This should come as no surprise. The Egyptians made a rudimentary. The Greeks, the Rome, even
Yep, the
it
golden
is,
rule.
For you, I made... If she was still...
I like how they didn't have to animate her at all. She just kind of sits there. It's funny.
Then what? Do you plan to speak in...
Yeah, we'll just
I've seen no
tell him
such
about all this
taking
stuff.
Applying this rule always requires us to interpret the meaning of the words. A literal interpretation helps to minimize the ambiguities of your primitive language.
Yeah, but, I mean... Yeah, if our language is full of ambiguity, doesn't that make the rule inherently subjective and unreliable?
Supposing you're right, then
Like,
my
why does he
laws
even
be
use
broken,
our language?
I should turn you all to gold immediately. Is that what you want? Now tell me.
Yeah, let's go through all the examples again.
The merchant.
Even though I'm not sure if that actually helps.
I disagree. Having watched this merchant,
Sorry, I've been
that is
kind of having
precisely what he
allergies
would
today.
expect
I've
from
been outside a
others,
lot.
and he would be quite capable of paying the price anyway. Applying this rule always requires speculation to some degree. It requires us to ask what another person would want if they found themselves in another situation.
I suppose.
Not if we're wise enough to know the mind of man. Supposing you're right.
It's funny that he
my
doesn't get
law
angry
has been
because of that.
broken, and I should turn you all to gold immediately.
I like how that's his response
Is
to
that what
all
you
of these. No.
Now, you speak of the money, and he would never have signed a contract pledging his labor for 30 years. All he did was enforce the terms of a contract signed voluntarily by others. Ignoring your irritating sense of moral superiority, this is interesting. I'm curious, how do people escape poverty where you're from?
They don't.
I see. And how long might it take such a person to repay their debt? I fail to see how your system of loans is significantly different to a debt bondsman signing over his labor for 30 years.
Just like we said before, it's not. I mean, it's not exactly the same thing. Obviously, terms these days for, at least for white people are better than they were 2,000 years ago, for sure. Should we say fair enough, or it's not the same thing?
Now tell me,
I'm gonna say fair enough.
do you believe I have overlooked?
Experiments on
The
golden
midwife
statues.
in the palace, yes. How is that inconsistent with the rule? The rule is do unto others, meaning other people.
Right, his
They are
argument is that the
forsaken.
statues don't
What
live.
happens to them
So,
is no concern of mine. Applying this rule always requires us... Now tell me,
this just shows how unreliable and subjective your moral code is. You're no better at judging right from wrong than any
do
human.
you honestly think you could do better?
No, but that's not my point. Nobody's grasp of right and wrong is so perfect they can be trusted with all this power. You've become a
I
tyrant.
should strike you down for that.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't kill us before. He just had his statues kill us.
Now, did you have any other questions before your reckoning?
Let's talk about something else.
Very well. Good. Then now it is time for your reckoning.
So yeah, I guess we can just skip all that
Only
to get to the
it
debate part.
seems something is wrong. It has long been within my power to see into the hearts of mortals and weigh their deeds in life. But when I peer into you, I
like
see
mental
only a blank
gymnastics.
slate, as if you did not exist until you appeared in this city. How is this possible? Charon, Where did you find this one?
I do not remember ferrying you. How did you come
I'm from
here?
the future.
If that is true, then I sense the intervention of someone powerful.
How did you come to be in this time, mortal? Who brought you here?
We cannot know.
But can't he sense if we lie, though? I'm gonna... One second. I'm gonna... Yeah, it says... The guide says not to snitch on Persephone, so... I was hoping you could tell me.
I do not know.
How does he not...
My kin departed
I guess he
long
can't
ago.
tell if you lie there.
Persephone has
Interesting.
slumbered for 3,000 years.
But that's how we got in trouble last time, is we picked a lie at the very end, and he knew. So I guess he can't always tell? It's interesting. Persephone has slumbered for 3,000 years. Shouldn't you know this is the god of the underworld?
Tread lightly, mortal. Enough of this. It seems I will need to put your reckoning on hold for now. But answer this. Why have you come here? What is it you seek?
I'd like you to put an end to the golden rule.
Your hubris is amusing, so I will allow you to make your case. But I warn you, if you anger me or waste my time with
It's
lies
nice that they
or
tell you this.
wrong-headed arguments, you face death here. So, tell me, why should I put an end to the so-called golden rule?
How can you expect us to live without sin if you can't do it yourself? Golden Rule is corrupting the city and ensuring you'll never win the wager.
How so? And be specific. You have made a grave allegation, and I expect you to back it up. His cruelty does seem to grow greater by the day. True, I have witnessed him doing that. He is a volatile and confused fellow, that one. Pathetic. You will need to do a lot better than that.
You really need more examples? I am going to check the guide again here just to make sure. We have to pick the how you can expect us to live without sin if you can't do it yourself.
That is a very serious accusation, mortal. What sin have I committed? What evidence do you have to support it? Every one of those people was guilty of failing to ensure their peers lived virtuously. They failed collectively, and so they were punished.
What's on other
collectively.
people to make sure other
The
people
Romans
live
understand this,
virtuously?
as did the Greeks before them.
I don't know about that.
How unfortunate that we are not where you are from. Ah, but I am a god, and you are a mortal. Why would you expect me to treat you as I treat my
So
own
he's just
kind?
better than us.
You are not a peer. You are not a respected equal. Let me ask you this. Do you treat insects as you wish to be treated? Do you care for their well-being as you would your fellow man? Do you ensure they have food and shelter and protection from predators? Do you give them rights?
No, but like insects are not. It's not a good comparison here. Maybe he thinks it is.
Of course not. Because that would be absurd. Just as it would be absurd for me to treat your kind as equals.
Oh, this is a good argument here.
My love for her does not mean I am not superior, now that she is mortal. Where to begin? Our lifespans exceed yours by
He can't
thousands
time
of
travel,
years, in which time we accumulate
Maybe he
vast
can.
wisdom and a mastery of technology you cannot begin to imagine. Because that is the source of our power over you. You could say that.
What was it the Roman Stoics said? Treat your inferior as you would wish your superior to treat you. Oh, yeah. So this is like one of the original forms of the Golden Rule.
My kin have no superiors. That is true. Go on. Make your point, mortal.
If you can't follow your own rule, how can you expect humans to?
Let me ponder that for a moment. If you are right, then it would follow that all this time I have been in the wrong. But no. The very thought
Yeah, he
of it grieves me.
can't even bear to think about
How
it.
can I accept your argument when doing so would make me a tyrant and a monster?
Because you are. You need to own up to it. You're not a monster, you're a human, and you made a mistake.
Wait, what? What are you saying?
Humans make mistakes.
You have spoken eloquently, and yet, if what you say is true, it follows that my wager was fatally flawed.
Feel like we're getting there?
But that would mean Jupiter, Persepone's father, who knew more about you than anyone, proposed a wager I could never
Why would he
win.
do that?
Why would he do that?
Perhaps he wanted you to abandon the wager so Persephone would be free from you. Perhaps he felt threatened by you and didn't want a potential challenger. Perhaps he left you behind because even your own kin didn't want you. Probably shouldn't say that one. Seems like we can do any of these options from the guide. I'm just double checking. Perhaps he felt threatened.
Perhaps. But if that was so, surely I would have sensed his deception. How could I have been so blind for so long?
Perhaps you took on... When you took on human form, you took on human foibles as well. Perhaps you were blinded by your love for Persephone.
Your words sting me, mortal.
Doesn't seem like he's gonna get angry now.
Perhaps it is what
So that's
I
nice.
deserve. As
Poor
difficult
guy.
as this is to admit, I have suspected as much for a long time now. I
Oh,
cannot
he's just
deny
in
it
love.
any longer. I've been so fixated on
You know,
taking
toxically
my
in
beloved
love.
to Elysium that every time one of
Nonetheless.
you sinned, it wore away my hope of being with her again. In time, I began to despise your kind for making her believe that you could ever be better than you are. But my rage was not born of malice. Quite the opposite. Everything I have done, I did because I loved her. Who knew this empathy of yours, which you celebrate so much, could have such a dark underside?
Interesting
This
point.
has gone on too long. It is time for me to let go of this form, of her, of all of you. But know this. If I abandon the wager and leave for Elysium, neither she nor your kind may ever ascend.
That's okay. Although, you know, in Wizardry 8 we could ascend, but we can't ascend in this game. Why can't we go to Elysium?
Because doing so would violate the rules of my sacred agreement with
Oh,
Jupiter,
right.
and you would receive a hostile reception. The best I
Fair
can
enough.
do is return you to the land of the living. I will have Charon make arrangements to ferry the others. But as for you, be aware you will be separated from the rest. Once this exodus begins,
Seems fair.
the events that brought you to this moment will never have taken place, and you will have created a paradox. What will become of you is difficult to predict, but that is the risk you have taken by interfering in the natural flow of time. Now, are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Farewell, mortal.
See you, buddy. We didn't even have to take her crown. Nice. I know I checked the guide a couple times there, but just wanted to make sure. So, that was fun. Nice. Good conversation. This will probably be a short video, but that'll probably make some people happy. And we get to talk to Al again. Oh, this is that same area, but in a different light. Again. Different atmosphere. That's cool. We're in like the ancient Greek part, I guess. Ooh, I like that view. That's cool.
Oh.
Hey, buddy.
Hi there. Gave me a bit of a fright. Thought I was in here alone. Well? Oh, did that lady in the forest send you in here? I'm fairly certain you and I are the first. Fortunately for us, the last person in here was a Roman man named Galerius, who inscribed an account into a tablet. Apparently, there was a community of 20-something people. They believed that if even one person sinned, then, one day, just as Galerius had an oracle appeared and told him how to solve the ills of the city, like
so I guess that would be me,
a dying woman, preventing the suicide of a man in debt bondage, freeing a falsely accused prisoner, foiling an assassination attempt, and so on.
We did all that stuff.
Meanwhile, the oracle walked up to the temple of the mysterious god, this one right here, and demanded an audience. And the doors just opened up to her. Nobody knows what went on in there, but Galerius wrote the oracle must have been more persuasive than Odysseus, because the next thing he knew, the ground shook, and the voice of that god rang out over the city. The many have suffered long enough. Unfortunately, Galerius' account just sort of stops after that, leaving a lot of questions unanswered. What became of him, and the other people who lived here? What happened to all the golden statues? And did this mysterious oracle single-handedly undo the curse that had terrorized people for hundreds of years?
Actually, that was me.
What? Oh, I see. For a moment there, I thought you were serious. Anyway, I think I found a way out through the aqueduct that brought water into the city. Follow me.
Right behind you. Nice. Yeah, I kind of thought this will be short. I thought about doing the other endings too, but it just didn't really seem worth it. That first one you have to do some other stuff at the beginning to get it to trigger. Seems like that would be a good one for the gun if you bring the gun here, but it doesn't seem like you ever really need the gun unless you're doing like a speed run. The gun would probably be best for. I'll have to watch a speedrun because I think that would be a little interesting. Although, like walking sim speedruns are usually not the best speedruns to watch. The Witness speedruns are pretty funny because they have to solve puzzles. In that game, you can solve puzzles from like really far away. So you see them like drawing tiny little squiggles on panels hundreds of feet away to try and get through it super quickly. It's pretty funny and pretty impressive too. Takes some dexterity and a lot of memory to do that. A lot of memorization.
I'm gonna pause here for a moment and make sure nobody else has ever lured into this temple.
Good call.
You go on ahead.
All right. Take one last look at all this stuff. Very cool game. Very pretty game. Smart game, I think. A Forgotten City 2 would be definitely up my alley, I think, if they ever do another one. Or something like it. Reminds me of Tyranny, too. Tyranny has a lot of dialogue stuff that you have to navigate very closely. I know New Vegas does, too, but I think Tyranny and Disco Elysium go even farther. And are more like this game, where like you can't really say a wrong thing and end up where you want to. Which I really like, I guess.
You're back, but you're alone.
He's here.
Oh, what a relief. Thank you so. Why don't you tell me what you discovered?
I remember meeting you 2,000 years ago.
Ah, I see.
Ooh, instantly evil.
I thought you might. Well, now you know. I suppose you have questions.
Nice. I was wondering if we would get to talk to her about it.
You can just call me Charon, if you like. I am sorry I was not completely honest with you when we first met. I do not enjoy deceiving people. Believe me.
Yeah, I should have guessed that her real name was
But I have
Charon,
learned
because I definitely
from
know that name,
5,000 years
and
of
the river
experience
Styx and whatever.
that most people find comfort
Did not think about
in
it.
familiarity,
And they kind of throw you
in
off with the
gradual
meme.
change, and coming to see the truth in their own time. That you died, of course. You were
Yeah,
dead
everybody
when I brought you here.
Died and floated down the
My
river
role
to the underworld.
as the servant of the god of the underworld has always been to assist the chosen to cross the threshold from the land of the living
So Al's
to the
dead
land
too.
of the dead.
How did I die?
Usually, when people do not remember how they died, it is because they suffered a terrible trauma. Most souls would rather not remember. Ask yourself honestly, do you
I
really
mean,
want to
I'm
know?
just curious as a player.
As you wish. You were murdered. You were exploring an old tomb when you discovered a cache of forgotten relics, including 2 silver coins of ancient origin.
Ah.
Unfortunately, as you emerged into daylight, you were set upon by 2 thieves. A nearby hiker saw the scuffle break out and leapt to your aid, trying to help you recover your bounty. You both fought bravely,
I died
but
because
your
of 2
assailants
silver
were
coins?
armed, and you were not. There was nothing you or your ally could have done. He died instantly at the scene, and you followed a few hours later. That man's name was Al
Oh.
Worth.
Al tried to save us.
You were each in possession of a sacred coin, called Charon's Opal by some. And so it was my duty to bring you here.
Right, because only the people that had the coins were actually brought there, so that's how they got their, like, sample size. Pluto said the coins Al and I had were the last in existence. What does that mean for you?
It means I am now bereft of purpose.
Well, that sucks for her.
There is nobody else to ferry here. Nobody to keep you
She could just give the
company.
coins to someone
After
else.
5,000 years, the underworld
But also,
has
yeah, the
finally
god
run its
decided that
course.
the underworld's not a good idea anyway. What's so special about these coins?
Perhaps you have heard the tales of the Greeks and Romans burying their dead with a coin in their mouths to pay the ferrymen for passage across the river. Well, those stories contained a seed of truth, but not any coin would do. A long time ago, my master created 1,000 silver coins and had me distribute them.
And they're just all lost, I
across the
guess.
world.
Or she has them now.
My orders were simple. Whenever a person died in possession of a coin, I was to locate them and ferry them here.
Yes, Pluto mentioned that my coin was the last in existence. What does that mean for you?
It means there
Oh
is
yeah, we got that
nobody
same
else.
thing. Can you return us to the land of the living?
I see no point in keeping you here.
That's nice of
But
her.
I have to ask one thing. That you keep this to yourself.
Look! Here comes Al now. Al!
Nice
It's
transition.
So good to see you. You were gone so long I thought I'd never see you again.
Kinda lost track of time in there. You wouldn't believe what we found. The ruins of a long-forgotten city.
Forgotten City, he
And
said
there was
it.
a tablet describing an oracle who confronted a god and undid an ancient curse.
Sounds like quite a story. And I look forward to hearing all about it. But you two look exhausted. Why don't you hop in my boat and rest while I ferry you back to civilization?
Sounds good to me.
And you? Are you ready to go home?
Yeah, I'm ready to cheat death. Very cool. Yeah, that was a more satisfying ending. Ooh, we get more epilogue. Cool. Hopefully we get to hear... Yeah. I think I saw like screenshots of this when I was looking up the endings. Interesting statue. This is cool. We're in like a museum. They reused this door again. Oh, I like that. It's a kind of an interesting sign. I don't know if that means exit or what. Huh. You go left and down. Maybe it's supposed to be like a reference to something. Yeah, these old stone statues are so weathered and eroded away. It's like a lion taking down a zebra, I think. Or something to that effect. I don't know who this is. I'm sure if you know your history better than me, you would know what that is. I've been thinking about going into a museum curation or something to that effect. I'm like really interested in digital archiving and preservation and learning more about this kind of stuff. And I think it'd be like something I'd be good at. Just like trying to deem what stuff is important enough to be remembered and preserved and stuff. So I like this section of the game. I've been meaning to go to more museums actually. Now that things are opening up more and COVID is sort of slowing down, hopefully. What we got here? Currently exhibiting ancient Rome, ancient Greece, ancient Egypt, and Sumer. The 4 civilizations that we went through in the game. So it's the same thing over here. There's a private member wing and a reception hall as well. So let's go visit the other areas. This also kind of reminds me of the end of
Hey, you made it.
Stanley
It's
Parable.
great to see you again. I read your book, and what the critics said about it.
One of the endings.
I guess they weren't ready for your theories about the underworld. Anyway, after everything you've been through, I thought you might appreciate some good news.
He looks different now,
So
like his
after
hair
we
is
got back
different.
to the real world, I started doing some research into the people mentioned in Galerius's tablet, and I found something strange. I'm sorry I've been so cryptic. I've been dying to tell you. I just really wanted you to see this for yourself. Why don't you head on down there? I'll catch up with you at the other end.
Okay. Yeah, so if you've played the Stanley Parable and the Beginner's Guide, actually, they both have like museum kind of sections. There's one ending in the Stanley Parable where you like go through the credits. It's kind of like the credits of the game, and you see all the props and stuff, and you see the voices, like the voice credits, I think. And at the end of the Beginner's Guide, it's kind of like that too, but it's a very different tone. But yeah, that's an interesting parallel. That this is kind of a similar kind of game. So this is pointing you to the 4 civilizations, I think. Yeah, it's like Greece, Rome, Egypt, and Sumer. Oh, can we actually listen to these? Yeah, these are like they're supposed to be videos or audio things that you could listen to in the museum. Ancient Roman statue of an unknown man in an inscrutable pose. One hand seems to welcome and the other warns. I like seeing all these people here too. These are all the people from the city, right? Yeah, it's Galerius.
You're finally here. Remember me?
I do. What are you doing here?
It's a crazy story. After you disappeared, Charon appeared and told us she was returning us to the world. Even gave us some coins to help us start our lives over. Only,
Aw.
for some reason, she returned us to your world instead of ours.
Guess we have to go to a modern
I know
time.
we only ever had that one conversation, and I wasn't even sure if you'd remember me, but I wanted to say thanks.
We had a lot more than that
Freeing
one
us from the
conversation.
underworld and giving us a second chance at life.
You betcha, dude. You're with Aquidia now?
I know. I can't believe my luck either.
That's
but
cute.
We're engaged and living together. We're planning to get married next spring.
Galerius
If
is such a
you're gonna
good
be
guy.
around, we'd love to see you there.
Count me in.
Oh, I used Charon's gift to buy a farm in Umbria.
Umbria.
Got a villa on
I don't know where
too,
that is
With enough
exactly.
room for Dooley, of course. It's hard
Oh,
work, but I sleep
they brought
soundly
Dooley with
every
them?
night.
That's cool.
I'm finally my own man, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
Have fun getting used to 2022.
Of course, there's a whole museum full of people waiting for a chance to thank you, so you better keep moving. We'll speak again soon, my friend.
Yeah. Achievement unlocked, the Oracle. Assemble as many people as possible in the museum. Oh, cool. So I guess in that respect, we did do everything. Small household shrine where ancient Romans offered daily prayers for protection. I know we didn't do everything, but we got pretty close.
There she is.
Close enough for me. Oh yeah, here's Dooley.
It's you.
What's up, Aquidia? She looks nice.
you're here. It's lovely to finally meet you. Galerius told me all about you. So, you're
There
the
she
hero
is.
who somehow vanquished the last of the Roman gods. As I'm a priestess, you realize you've put me out of work. I'm
Yeah,
just
sorry.
teasing. Actually, and it still feels a little sacrilegious to say this, I'm finding life after religion quite enjoyable.
Did she just totally give it up? How's Livia?
Oh, it's sweet of you to ask. She recovered nicely.
That's good.
In fact, she's here somewhere. If you'd like to ask her yourself.
Yeah, we gotta talk to everybody. Like all 22 people or whatever. What are you doing with yourself these
Galerius
days?
and I are engaged and expecting.
Aw.
We've just bought a lovely villa in the countryside with room for a large family. And Dooley too, of course. It feels like the world has just opened up for us.
Yeah, they get a second
There's
chance
so
at
much
life.
to learn, and so many more possibilities for our children than we ever imagined. We're just so thankful for what you did for us. For all of us.
Very cool.
See you at the wedding, I hope.
Yeah. What's up, Dooley?
Hello, I'm Dooley.
I definitely remember.
Galerius said you're very nice and a big helper. Thank you for getting us out of the bad place.
Is that supposed to be
I
a Good
didn't
Place
know.
reference? I really like The Good Place, by the way. If you haven't seen that show, it's kind of similar to this game in some ways. Very good show.
I live at Galerius and Equitia's house. They look after me now and help me remember when I forget things, like brushing my teeth.
You know, it's easy to forget that. It's good to see you again, Dooley.
Bye-bye.
What's this? Relief of Persephone. Oh, cool. A relief depicting a great circular portal and Persephone, the Roman goddess of the cycle of life and renewal. Her story is a grim one. It's said she was abducted by Pluto and forced into marriage against her will. Hopefully Persephone is doing better now, too.
It's you.
It sure is. Is this the same statue? Yeah, I think they just reused that one. Another lararium. Be cool to have like a lararium in your house. That looks like a Dark Souls shield. That's funny. Although I'm sure the Dark Souls shield was kind of inspired by it. It's like the eagle shield, I think. Looks very similar to that. It's probably inspired by this stuff. What's up, Yulia? Christian?
You're the
She's a
Oracle,
Christian, right? Or no, was that just Octavia?
Oh, of course. Sorry. And of course.
What are you doing with yourself?
Oh, I barely recognize myself. I'm living in a house share in London with my wonderful
Ooh.
girlfriend. And I'm studying English at university. Eventually, I
What
want
university?
to travel the world and write about it. Turns out, it's about 30 times bigger than the Roman Empire ever was. Did you know there are entire continents Rome never knew existed?
Mm-hmm.
And you can travel almost anywhere in an aircraft, which is rather like flying on a Pegasus, but much more comfortable. Oh, sorry.
Because
you
she knows
already
what
know
flying
all
on a
that, of
Pegasus
course.
is
I'm
like.
just so excited. There's so much to see and learn and write about.
Seeing the world through fresh eyes sounds wonderful.
I have noticed people from your time have no idea how fortunate they are. I hope to change that. One day.
That's very true. Whatever happened to Malleolus and Claudia?
Last I heard, Malleolus kept insisting
Did
was
he not
the
show
last
up here?
rightful ruler of the Roman Empire, and wound up being committed to a psychiatric hospital.
Cute.
As for Claudia, she was always so viciously unhappy. Someone said she'd blown all her money on wine, trying to drink herself back to the underworld.
Oh, that's sad.
After the horrific way they treated Ulpius and me, I can't help feeling a sense of... what's that German word? Schadenfreude?
I think you're allowed to feel that
Thank
way,
you.
yeah.
You're very kind.
Whatever happened to Aurelia?
Ugh. Someone told me she was boasting about getting her claws into some rich prince.
Yeah, she was pretty
How
awful
she was going to be living the high life from now on. Even in your time, life
to the
still
people
isn't
in the
fair.
underworld anyway.
Apparently he'd proposed before they'd even met. And last I heard, she'd bought herself a first-class one-way ticket to join him in some exotic place called
What was it? Nigeria?
Nice.
Some people have all the luck.
She's going to get what she deserves. As the Oracle, I foresee terrible disappointment in her future.
Really? I feel better already.
Me too.
Thank you.
Nice. This is a very sweet ending.
You too.
Definitely
If
better
you're
than the
ever
other
in
one we got.
London, let me know. We can go to bars and drink wine and listen to the stories of the 9 million people who live there.
9 million people. Definitely take her up on that.
So.
What's up, Lucretia?
You are here. It's nice to finally meet you.
Hey, Lucretia.
Lucy is fine. I'm making an
Lucy.
effort to blend in, as you can see.
Good
We're all
call.
trying to keep a low profile. If the world knew we died 2,000
Wonder
years
if
ago
Charon
and
explained
were
how
suddenly
this world
brought
works
back to
now.
life 12 months ago, they'd never leave us alone. Speaking of which, I wanted to say thank you.
Right, it's been a
in
year,
person.
so
I'd
they've
say
kind
the
of
gods
acclimated.
smile on you, but I hear you drove the last of them off. So,
Yeah, are there like no more gods here either? It was just Pluto hanging around and doing that test. What are you doing with
I'm
yourself?
studying to get into medical school. As much as I resented the responsibility of keeping everyone in the city alive,
Seemed like she
when
was
I
good
did
at it.
I realized I missed it. So I guess I'll just keep saving the world, if begrudgingly, one patient at a time.
You know, seems like most doctors are like that.
You too. Don't be a stranger.
Yeah, I like her a lot. Statue of Apollo. Large stone statue of Apollo, the Roman Greek god and Greek god of disease and healing, among other things. So yeah, that makes sense that they would be standing next to him. I like that she survives. Both the suicide victims survived. I like that a lot. What's up, Cynthia? We never got to talk to her all that much.
The Oracle. Thanks for coming. Actually, I changed my name to
Cynthia.
Cynthia. I didn't want to be associated with Sentius after what happened. I'm not sure if you heard, but after you drove
Yeah, I was gonna
Pluto
say,
off,
whatever happened to
Persephone emerged
Sentius
from the
and his
Great
plan?
Temple. She knew right away what none of us had figured out about that psychopath. He'd been keeping my little sister locked up in the upper cistern all that time.
Sure did.
But he's been dealt with. He's... you know what? The important thing is, we'll never see him again.
Good. What are you doing with yourself these
Anything
days?
I want. I'm a woman of means in a vast new world.
Does she get to
I
keep
can
her
go
money or
wherever
whatever?
and do whatever I please. Of course, I mostly just stay in my villa and have my servant Alexa summon things for
Alexa,
me.
nice.
Because it's just awful out there. Barbarians everywhere.
That's true. She's not a fan of barbarians. So I guess she didn't have Horatius come with either. What happened to Sentius?
He's still there, all alone. The
He's in the
last golden
underworld by
statue
himself?
In the underworld.
Yikes, dude.
Trapped in a metal shell, slowly losing his mind until the end of time.
Wow, that's harsh.
Eternal torment. Just what he deserves, if you ask me.
Yeah, probably. But, I mean, it seems a bit excessive. I'm just gonna say good.
You too. See you around.
Let's see what she says if we say it's a bit
Hello again.
excessive.
He's eternal. Meh, I try not to think about him at all.
Yeah, I mean, he was a jerk, for sure.
You too. See
Evening.
Cavalry helmet. Oh, Horatius is right here. I didn't even notice. Makes sense that he's in army fatigues, though. He's got his backpack. An ancient Roman cavalry helmet with an enclosed face mask and plume made of dyed horsehair. This is a Roman shield, a type of ancient Roman shield known as a scutum. Huh. Wonder why it's called that. See the handle at the back.
Hey,
Hi there.
He looks
I'm
very different
Horatius.
without the Centurion gear.
I understand we have you to thank for giving us a second chance at life. And reuniting Centilla with us as well. I'm living up north and studying in the military academy in Modena. I'm going to be an officer one day. The world's changed a lot. But some things stay the same. Would you believe we're still studying military tactics from my time? Alexander the Great,
Yeah, that's a good
Caesar,
point. A
Hannibal
lot of that stuff
Barca.
survived, right?
Still, I have to keep challenging myself to let go of old ways of thinking and embrace the new. As Seneca wrote, The ones who pioneered our paths.
He's a smart guy, I
Aren't
think.
our masters, but our guides.
The ones who pioneered our paths aren't our masters, but our guides. Yeah, that's a good point. Sorry you never got to see your girl again.
Ah, you remembered that. Thank you. I grieved for a time, but that's done. In the words of Epictetus, as those who rode behind triumphant generals remind them they are mortal, remind yourself your precious one isn't one of your possessions, but something given for now.
Yeah.
Not forever.
You know, you don't really own your children. Well said.
Thanks. Oh, and I don't know if you've heard, but a few of us are going for drinks later. It'd be nice to chat with you some more.
No, he's a good guy. I'll be there. Whatever happened to Domitius?
He's not my... I see what you did there. Good one. He had more trouble adapting than most. He got himself disqualified from the UFC, so he started some kind of underground blood sport tournament.
That's cute.
Like we had in Rome. Suppose it appealed to people's baser instincts. And they say he made some good coin, killing a bunch of men like that.
Yeah.
But his luck finally ran out, and his life along with it. You know what they say.
That's probably what he
Live
deserved.
by the sword, die by the sword.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Good to see you.
See you at drinks later, I hope.
Okay.
Hey.
Hey, Cynthia. I like how their names all changed. Excuse me. Felt like I had to sneeze. Okay. Allergies again.
Hello.
Magnificent museum, is it not?
Yeah. Oh, they look cute. Statue of Demeter. Greek statue of Demeter, the goddess of the hardest and mother of Persephone, or as she's known to the Romans, Persephone. Okay. Cool. Very cool statue. I wonder if these must be based on real statues too. If I had to guess. This is that thing. Yeah, this is his bathtub. Large tub which has been converted into a rather eccentric bed. They just moved it from his cave up here. That's funny. Or just copy pasted it here. Oh yeah, the cloth is still moving. Huh.
Greetings.
They probably didn't mean to copy that too. That's funny. Let's talk to these guys first.
Magnificent museum, is it not? Greetings. You must be the legendary oracle. It is a sincere privilege to finally make your acquaintance. I am Georgius.
Georgius.
I am told we have you to thank
Isn't
for
his,
freeing us
like,
from
how you
pain.
pronounce it really
And
is
for that,
Georgius
I
or
am
whatever?
most grateful.
Something like that.
I am reacquainting myself with Greece. It has changed so much over the last 2,000 years, I barely recognize it. Perhaps one day, once I have seen all of this new Greece and sampled
Santorini.
her delights, I will settle down in Santorini in a villa
These must all be
overlooking the Azure Sea.
areas
I
in
hope you
Italy,
will join me
and I just
there
don't
and
know any of
regale me
them.
with the story of how you faced off against the fearsome god of the underworld and won.
Consider me there.
You too, my friend.
You're the one we've been waiting for. I'm Fabia.
Hi, Fabia.
I wanted to say thanks for sending Galerius to save my life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you knew, but I would have been crushed by that shrine for sure.
I'm glad we did all that before we finished the game, because... Oh, is she wearing, like, a Flintstones? That's like Wilma Flintstones getup, right? The cheetah skin dress and the pearls. I think that's the same thing.
I'm so happy to be here with you.
It's kind of a funny reference.
Everyone together again.
Since she's from the
I think
past.
it's just for one more night.
What are you doing with yourself these days?
Well, it's not like I have to work with all the silver Charon gave me, so
So how much money did they all
what
get?
makes me happy.
I wonder.
Mostly that means baking for my friends and looking at
Recording
memes
TikToks,
while
I think.
binging
She would
TV
definitely be
shows
into
and yoga
TikTok.
pants. What a time to be alive.
I'm glad you're
Thank
happy.
you. I really am.
No.
You too.
Glad she didn't die. Yeah, that's funny. I wonder if you get more dialogue options if you spent more time with them earlier.
Magnificent museum, is it not?
The Hermit Philosopher. I like his tie.
I
That's
take
cool.
it you're the oracle everybody's talking about. It's a pleasure to finally meet you.
We've met before, though I wouldn't expect you to remember
We
it.
have. I'm sorry. I never
Philip.
thought I'd leave that cave, let alone the city.
Was
And
Philip
now
in
I'm
the
living in the 21st
ledger?
century.
I don't remember.
What a time to be alive.
Maybe we can still
And
check.
it seems I have your catabasis to thank for it.
What does catabasis mean? Sorry, I'm gonna look that up real quick. I've never heard that word. Catabasis. A going or marching down or back. Retreat especially. A military retreat, the Russian Anubis and catabasis of Napoleon. Oh. Is a descent of some type, such as moving downhill, the sinking of the Windsor Sun, a military retreat, a trip to the underworld. Oh, yeah. That makes sense. Or a trip from the interior of a country to down to the coast. The term has multiple related meanings in poetry, rhetoric, and modern psychology. That's very interesting. Okay. Nice tie-in there with the descent into the underworld. So you could make like a new Ultima Underworld and call it something, some alliteration with catabasis and confuse everybody. But cool word. Okay, what are you doing with yourself these days?
I'm working as a consultant to the Faculty of Classics at Cambridge University, helping fill the odd gap in their knowledge. Not that I need the money, but I do love being around enlightened minds again.
It's good to see you.
My sincere thanks once again.
Yeah, do we still have that ledger? No, we don't have any inventory anymore. Decius. Of course he's by himself on the furniture. And look, you like made a total mess of this. Please keep off the furniture. Even clean hands can damage the fragile surfaces of these rare pieces. Very cute. This is some like ancient 1,000-year-old couch that he's just sitting on.
Oh, hello at last. You must be the oracle I've heard so much about. Listen, I wanted to express my sincere appreciation for what you did. Whatever you did in that temple made me a very...
It was entirely unintended.
Such a service. I took the money I made from selling my trinkets.
So he got to sell all his stuff, I guess.
That's where the real
Stock
money
market.
is now.
Oh, he's into NFTs for sure.
I was hoping to ask your advice. You being the oracle and future seer and all that, on which stocks I should invest in next. I can't decide between fossil fuels, tobacco, gambling, and arms.
The big four.
What do you recommend?
I can't really see the future. I wouldn't help you even if I could. I can't really see the future, I'm afraid.
Oh, don't be like that. You can tell your old pal Dave.
DVD rentals have a bright future. I mean, we're kind of past DVDs here. Like, what year is this supposed to be? Print media is going to make a huge comeback. Broadcast TV is going to be the next big thing. What year are we supposed to be in? I'm not exactly sure. Let's bring back Blockbuster.
Oh, of course, yeah. I was just thinking the same thing. I'll go and buy up as much stock as I can tonight. I'm going to make a bloody
I'm not sure.
fortune.
Good luck, dude.
Of course, don't let me keep you. Thanks again.
Ooh, what's this?
Good evening.
Hello there.
Oh yeah, we saw these in Malleolus' villa. What's up, Octavia? We didn't get to talk to her very much either.
Oh, hello. It's lovely to meet you. I've heard so much about you. I'm thankful that you're here. I was sure the person who drove off the last pagan god would have more important things to do than visit the likes of us. But thank you for coming and for saving our lives.
What are you doing?
I'm living in Rome again, in a charming little flat by the Tiber.
Nice.
I'm not far from my old place. Oh, and I'm training to be a crisis counselor.
Oh, I like that.
After you sent Galerius to persuade Ulpius not to take his own life, I was inspired. I just want to spend the rest of my life helping people, like you helped him.
Sounds like a noble cause.
Thank you. Yeah. And you.
Yeah, this game's outlook on mental health is like pretty good, I think. Although I think Dooley is a little questionable. Not really sure what his deal is supposed to be, but like the suicide stuff I thought was treated pretty well.
Greetings.
I thought Livia was actually done pretty well too, I think.
Thank you for your kind words and for liberating us all. In all the time I was in the underworld, I never once imagined that I might end up in a place so much like Elysium.
Yeah, and I was just thinking, like, this museum is very heavenly too, on purpose. What are you doing with yourself these days?
I'm recovering. Octavia was kind enough to let me stay with her for a while. At least until I'm well enough to be independent again.
Not all dogs go to Elysium, though. Read any good poems lately?
Ah, you remember that. I'm a little tired of Ovid, but that's all right. I have 2,000 years worth of poetry to catch up on now. I'm already up to the 19th century, and
Wow,
I'm
that was fast.
quite enjoying the work of a fellow named Poe. I think I may have found a kindred spirit.
She is kind of
Men
emo,
have
huh?
called me mad, but the question is not yet settled whether madness is or is not the loftiest intelligence.
Which story is that from? I'm not sure. Perhaps you're right. It almost sounds like Lovecraft, but like too smart for Lovecraft.
And you. Farewell, Fred.
Very cool. Let's keep on. We got a few people left. Statue of Anubis. The ancient Egyptian god of mummification and embalming, among other things. This is Kabash.
What is up?
Statue of Kerati, the Egyptian ram-headed deity believed by the Egyptians to ferry the deceased to the underworld. Right, this is their version of Charon. Oh, I like his jacket. Very cool. Texture on it is really cool.
It is an honor to finally meet you, Oracle.
Apparently you can talk your way out of the confrontation you have with him too, so you don't have to run through all of that area just to get back and with both of those plaques. But yeah, I couldn't figure it out in the moment. So, and that was fun to run all the way from the bottom of the world all the way back up to the top. I thought that was cool.
You know my name.
It's definitely kind of a climax.
Of course. You are an oracle. You know many things. I too would like to offer.
And it's like the hardest
thanks
run
for
back in the
releasing
game,
us from that place,
sort of.
and for your role in bringing us here. This world is truly wondrous. For a time, I returned
Alexandria.
to Alexandria, but they
I forgot
have
that
no
that was
need
where
of
he was
another
from.
fisherman, and I came to see there is nothing for me there. Instead, I have decided to follow the custom of your youths and backpack the world. I spent the first 25 years of my life avoiding the 42 sins that would deny me access to the afterlife.
Now you don't have to worry about it.
Indeed. Thank you.
Yeah, I like him still. Don't get any pop-ups for this. I have no idea what this is supposed to be. It's like a bookend. Who is this?
Hello.
Oh, this is Nergal. The Mesopotamian god of the dead and the underworld. He does kind of look like the space god guy that we talked to.
Hello there.
Oh, it's Scintilla.
Oh, I go by Gabriella now. I didn't want to be reminded of that monster every time I heard my own name.
Yeah, smart.
You
Sentius.
didn't hear? My adoptive father, after you drove Pluto off.
I did know, though.
Mm-hmm. I'm living with Ulpius on a... I'm so grateful to
On a
you for
vineyard?
making
Oh, that's
sure
cute.
he's still with us. If you're ever passing through the region, I hope you'll come and visit us. You can try some of our very own wine.
Yeah, so can you manage to actually do the whole Upper Cistern thing and do the God of the Underworld stuff in the same cycle? I'm not sure you can, but maybe. I don't think you can, though, because I think to do that you have to kill Sentius, right? And that causes the paradox,
Thanks. You...
I think. I'm not sure.
It's nice to finally put a face to the name.
Yeah, glad that he lives
I'm
too.
Ulpius. I understand I have you to thank for sending Galerius to save my life. The way you just showed up out of the blue and stopped me from making a terrible...
It's a game with a very happy ending, you know, if you, as long as you do have all this canon stuff. I like that.
I'm living with Gabriella in Umbria. We finally bought the little vineyard we always dreamed of.
No.
It'll be a little while before we know what we do. Every day I look at her and this extraordinary new
that's
world
just
with
nice.
all its beauty, and I think, what if I'd given up hope and missed out on all of this?
No.
So we're living each day to the fullest.
Very optimistic.
And we end them all the same way. Sitting together on our terrace
With a glass of wine, I was just
our
thinking.
wine, which the locals say is almost drinkable now. And watching the sunset over the rolling hillside.
No.
And I couldn't be happier.
I'm
Thank
glad he's
you.
happy.
I wouldn't be here without you.
Oh.
You too.
It just feels good to help people, you know? Games where you help people are good. Virgil.
Hi.
Hey, Rufus.
It's so nice
Are
to
they
finally
in a
meet
relationship
you.
now? Oh,
I've
that
heard
would be
so
cute.
much about you. I wanted to thank you and for helping Rufus come to terms with
Oh.
himself. He may come off a little gruff, but once you get past that, I'm studying to be an architect again and living with Rufus
They
in
are
our beautiful
together.
flat in
That's
Rotterdam, just down the river
Good for
from
them.
Nijmegen, where I grew up. Of course, it's improved immensely since I was there last. Gleaming futuristic buildings and clean streets full of educated, accepting people. You natives of the 21st century have no idea how fortunate you are.
Good point.
You too. If you're ever in the Netherlands, we'd love to show you around.
Yeah, let's talk to Rufus. See what he has to say about it. Hey, buddy.
Nice to meet you. I go by Rufus.
Rufus.
New start for what you did. Sorry, I live with Virgil in Rotterdam, not far from where he grew up. It's very modern. Destroyed in the war, and it rebuilt itself. Haven't decided what I'm going to do with my life yet.
Me neither, man. The statues really were watching us.
Good to know. Anyway,
He's still kind of
it's good
paranoid.
practice for the new world. Security cameras and smartphones everywhere. Got to stay vigilant.
That is unfortunately true.
You too.
Nice. I'm glad they had a happy ending too. Wow. Very cool dome. Oh, it's nighttime apparently. Look up and see the stars. Got a lyre. Yeah, this is very much like that part in Stanley Parable. You got to see all the props and statues you saw earlier. Very cool. Yeah, I like these banners they made for each time period. It's a lock in the shape of a suitcase. We'll probably never know what this was for. Was this Al's suitcase? Or what was this? It's definitely supposed to be a reference to something in the game, right? I'm not sure. Oh, they found the plaques. Yeah. Very cool. It's a good time to use photo mode if you're playing the game. All must walk this path to where the laws of day help the virtuous to paradise in the city beneath the earth. The ravenous hunger of the avaricious is sated at the banks of the stream, but in vain, for none from here may return. I like the dice tower a lot. That's cool. Can we actually read all the plaques now? I didn't even think about that. Maybe they don't all say something that interesting. Yeah, I guess not. I like these ancient tools. Yeah. Oh, who are these supposed to be? I have no idea. Pretty though. I have no idea who this is either. Yeah, if you know your history, you know, if you're a history buff, this game has got to be super fun or super aggravating. As in, ichthys carved into it, a Greek symbol adopted by early Christians as a secret symbol of their faith. Yeah, the fish, right. That's cool. Nice. I like the audio. Wait, what?
There you are.
Oh, it is Al. He
Enjoy
just
that.
looks a lot like Virgil now.
There's one more person
It's
I
like
wanted
wearing
to
the same
introduce
shirt.
you to. I think you know her.
Persephone.
Sorry if I frightened you. Just a little joke.
She is
I've been
animated.
saving for a long. Allow me to introduce. I am Persephone, former goddess of the cycle of life.
Is she?
and renewal.
I guess she was mortal
And now,
before
I
too.
wanted to meet you in person. I hate to think what would have happened to us. Indeed. Suffice it to say that while Pluto was controlling the eyes and ears of each golden statue, I was able to control their tongues.
This ending's longer than I thought it would be
whisper
too.
when he was distracted.
So kind of glad
I
we
am sorry my
waited to
messages
do
were
it.
so cryptic. There were only ever brief windows in which I could speak to you without being detected.
You created the
I
time
did.
loop?
I may have
Ah.
given up my immortality, but I still retain my gifts as the goddess of the cycle of life and renewal. After witnessing
Ah.
Pluto punish countless poor souls over thousands of years,
She
I knew
finally
this
had enough.
generation, the final wave, would not survive. So I tried to give them a way to buy more
I guess
time.
either way it was over.
A second chance. Rather as many second chances as they needed to avoid his wrath.
Hmm.
I don't know what happened to him.
He
I
went
haven't
back to
heard
his
from
home
him,
planet.
And I rather hope it stays that way.
Probably.
Oh, she inherited dominion over the underworld. Last time we spoke,
Oh, that's
she
cool.
was working on a new world of some kind. She wouldn't say what it was, but I'd be surprised if you don't run into her again.
Oh, okay. So
I
maybe
imagine we
she'll
all
be
will.
like
One day.
in the second game if they do another one.
And you. Although it feels like I've known you forever. Oh, and one last thing.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Because they remember you.
Oh,
done,
they're all
my
down
friend.
here. This is them.
Of all the
Aw.
heroes who ever journeyed to the underworld,
I bet these are all the
immortality,
same models that they use too.
none came close to achieving what you did.
They were just covered in gold.
Hercules, Orpheus, Theseus, and Anubis would be proud.
Yeah. Aw, the canon ending. Look at that. Ending 4 of 4. So yeah. 2 and 3 are interesting, and 1 seems okay, but yeah, you definitely want to do ending 4, I think, if you play this game. So yeah, that is the Forgotten City, and I think that's gonna be it for me for this game. I really enjoyed it. I'm really glad I played it. I can definitely see why it was hyped up so much. Highly recommend it. Of course, if you've followed along and watched this entire Let's Play, I don't know how much more you're going to get out of playing it yourself, but tell your friends to play it, I think, for sure. And hopefully these guys make another game sometime real soon, because it would be good, I think. I think this goes to show that, you know, mods and indie games can be just as, if not more important and poignant than AAA stuff, and just as interesting and fun. You know, the game's not perfect. There's some like tiny issues. There's some bugs. There's some quest writing I think could be improved, and like scripting I think that could be a little tighter, so the player has more of a better idea of what they're supposed to do at every step. Although I wouldn't remove any of the steps that we went through. I think the game is just long enough, I think. I like that it's short, but there's a lot that you can do, and there's a lot that you can miss if you don't explore everything and don't try everything. I think that's really cool. Multiple endings are good. Yeah, you really want to do that canon ending, though. I don't think the game is nearly as satisfying if you don't see past the white hallway, as they say. Man, yeah, I know this. It's tough to do narrative games like this in Let's Play form because pretty much you would almost always rather play the game yourself, I think. But if you're the kind of person that enjoys this kind of Let's Play, I hope you did like it, or you recommend it to somebody else who you think would enjoy it. Yeah, I think we'll probably call the stream there for today, just because that was a little longer than I was expecting. And it was a good amount of gameplay, I think. It was fun. So, yeah, if you followed along, I'm just gonna let the credits play through and keep talking. So feel free to skip to the end or something, or continue about your day. But next, I think we might start on some Super Mario World stuff because I've been putting that off for a little too long. That's definitely one of the main focuses I wanted to be for the channel, for streaming again, and for YouTube. What else? If you've got any suggestions for games you'd like to see me play, definitely let me know in the comments or wherever you would like. You can @ me on Twitter or DM me. My DMs are probably always gonna be open at @NCBurnham on Twitter. And other games, I was thinking about maybe Legend of Grimrock, or we could go back to Deadfire. Although the Baldur's Gate, I streamed like almost all of Baldur's Gate last year and didn't get a lot of viewers, so I'm not really sure how popular that would be if I did another isometric RPG. But I do need to finish Deadfire one of these days, so I don't know. I'll think about it. That would be a big commitment too if we did a really long game, and I'd like doing shorter games like this because it took me years to finish Wizardry 8. Doing the Let's Plays for that, you know, and I know people were always patiently waiting for the next video to come out. So, what else can we talk about? Other future plans. Got kind of a list of games I was thinking about playing through next for the stream. Oh, I did put Eye of the Beholder on here. That might be fun to play with Grid Cartographer, just like the Wizardry stuff, but probably an easier game to play. We could do like that, or Dungeon Master, or Grimrock. Any of that stuff would be fun. Ultima Underworld I've been playing through on my own, and while it's fun to play through on my own, I don't know how fun it would be to watch. Same goes for like the Bard's Tale stuff. Norco just came out this year and it seems really interesting, and I could see myself playing that along with maybe Citizen Sleeper. I'm going to add to my list real quick. Both of those are more cyberpunky narrative RPG kind of games. Hollow Knight I've never finished. I don't know if I really want to play through it on stream. Teardown also just came out and seems really interesting. Dust Force, Arx Fatalis. I'm really in kind of like a dungeon crawling mood this year. Again, dedication for Marta Pierce, whose steadfast love and support made this game possible. Nice little dedication there. We'll hit escape. Message from the developers. We hope you enjoyed The Forgotten City. Oh, we didn't get this before. We'd love to make even better games in the future, and you can help out by recommending The Forgotten City to a friend or writing a review. The more people play our games, the more we can level up. And if you'd like to be the first to know when we announce our new project, please connect with us here. So yeah, you can follow them on all of these links. That's kind of nice. Maybe they just put that in if you do the canon ending or something, because they figure you're probably not going to keep playing. But yeah, that's the Forgotten City. That's probably it for me. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed that. If you did, let me know. And I will see you next time. Later.